Hey guys, Ray from RVer, and today I will be reviewing a Bluetti AC200 portable power station. Now I've decided to split this review actually into three different parts. I'm going to do an intro and go through the features. Then I'm going to go through and demo it, and we're going to test it all, test charging and discharging and try it out on a lot of different things in the RV. And then part three, I'm actually going to take it out off-grid. I got a camping trip planned for 3 days off-grid, so we'll take this and see if it can power the RV while we're out there. This box really intrigued me when Bluetti contacted me and offered to send one out for review. Unlike a lot of the portable power stations I've reviewed, like say the Jackery or the Himson, they just didn't have a big enough inverter to power a lot of the things that RVers use, like say coffee makers or hair dryers, that sort of thing. And they didn't have huge battery capacity, but this one actually checks off pretty well all the boxes someone would want to have when they're off-grid. And it could probably be a replacement for having someone install a total solar off-grid power system for you. This thing is sort of an all-in-one solution. You can see it has a 2,000 watt inverter, so you know most home plugs are 1,850 watts, so you can pretty well plug anything into this that you could plug into your home plug. And this thing actually may even run some air conditioners, because that 2,000 watt inverter actually has a surge capacity of 4,800 watts. So it might even do some of the startup power of an air conditioner or something like that. I'll probably end up testing mine. And it also has huge battery capacity. It has 2,000 watt hours of battery capacity. So that kind of equates to pretty well like 3 or 4 old lead acid batteries. You know the lead acid battery the RV company puts in to your rig. They usually put a single lead acid. That's about 85 amp hours. This thing actually, if you convert the watt hours to 12 volt amp hours, it's about 166 amp hours. And it's also a lithium battery. So it's not a heavy lead acid battery. There's a lithium battery in there. And this particular model has the lithium that's called lithium iron phosphate, which is what you hear, you know, Battle-Born batteries or My Lion Energy batteries. They're a lithium iron phosphate battery, so it's a super safe chemistry of battery. It also, unlike a lot of the power boxes that use a different chemistry, the lithium iron phosphate is good for over 3,500 complete life cycles, like charge and discharge cycles. So that's pretty amazing. A lot of them, always one of the cons of a lot of the ones like some of the Jackeries is they only guaranteed you like 500 or 600 life cycle charges, where this thing is capable of a lot more. And even at that, it would still have 80% life. So I was really happy when I heard that it had the lithium iron phosphate chemistry in it. It also sports a vast array of outlets. So you have 6 120 volt outlets here, all behind nice little protective covers. And then we have 4 USB 5 volt 3 amp ports for charging up your phones and devices. And then there's another USB-C port in there that's good for 60 watts, and you can run some laptops and things off of that. Over here we have your 12 volt DC ports. There's a 12 volt 3 amp, little barrel connectors in there. Some devices use those for powering. And then it's got your good old standard cigarette lighter type port. And this one is 10 amps and it's regulated. And then unique to this is this DC output 12 volt 25 amps. This is kind of a strange connector to me, though. They call it an aviation plug. Kind of looks like the old microphone connectors that you see in the old microphones. Anyway, that's an important port because a lot of devices, like say my air compressor, I have a RVer air compressor, and it draws 20 amps, so it wouldn't run off of these ports at all. Whereas this port is in there to do some of the higher amperage 12 volts. One thing though, they didn't include any connector for it, which was kind of strange. I see it's for 20 bucks. It's kind of an add-on thing. And speaking of price, right now this thing's going for $16.99, which does sound quite expensive, but given that it's got the lithium battery pack in it. It's got a built-in 2000 watt inverter. It's also got the solar charger in it, that sort of thing. So if you start to add up all those things, it doesn't seem so expensive anymore. It also is 60 pounds, so it's a pretty hefty deal. It's 11 inches deep, 16.5 inches wide, and just over 15 inches tall. Oh, also on the top it has kind of a nifty feature. It's got wireless charging for cell phones. You just lay your cell phone down on that if it's capable of it, and it can charge it up. Got a couple of really meaty handles on each side, of course, because 60 pounds. But they feel really good. It's easy to carry around if you're strong, or if you have two people, each share a 30-pound load. But you know, it might be a little tricky kind of putting into vehicles and stuff like that because of the size. Let's give you a look at what's included as far as accessories. This is actually the AC charger. Big, massive power block. And it says 411 watts at 58.8 volts, 7 amps to charge it up. And they say that I should charge it around 4.5 hours or so. Plug for that. Then we have the DC outputs and chargers. This connects into the charge port for charging it through DC power. And either you would use this, a cigarette, like a cigarette lighter, and it can do, I think it was 8 amps of charging power through that, or this is to hook up to solar panels. So it can hook up to a solar array and charge up to 12 amps, 700 watts. It can take in voltage anywhere between 35 volts up to 150 volts, so you can wire your solar panel array in series. They did send me the 3 of their 200 watt folding panels so that I can do a test with that. So that's what I'll do and see how that charges up. Little bag to put your stuff in. It has a 2-year warranty. Now Bluetti, I've heard of them before. They seem to be a fairly popular brand, and they seem to get pretty good reviews from most people. And a 2-year warranty is double what a lot of the companies are putting out. And then a little manual. On the left hand side of the unit you have the input charging ports. So there's for where you would plug in the AC adapter. It's the big barrel connector, fits in there. And then this is the same thing. It's one of those, they call it aviation connectors, and that's where you would plug either your car charger in, or you would plug your solar panels in there. Each side has a fan. Okay, so let's turn her on. The green light comes on, screen powers up. So you get an LCD touchscreen, and that's how you control everything and turn everything on and off. Say I wanted to use the AC ports, I would hit that, on. Now the AC ports would be active. You can see a little graphic there. DC ports, same thing. They go on. This tells me the percentage of the battery. Press it. It's telling me battery voltage, amperage, percentage. And then you can click each of these things and it'll go straight to what the loads are. Over here we have settings. So we've got it set to 120 volt for AC voltage. Fit 60 hertz. You can select your DC input source. So we got photovoltaic panels, solar panels, or car charger, and then it has an eco mode. I'm not exactly sure, I haven't studied that up, but I think it just allows it to shut down and save energy in case it's just idling away. Then we have language, buzzer setting, not sure about that, date and time. And then there's data, product info, inverter and charging info. Something's going on. We're not doing anything right now. And then we got faults. So if something happens to it, this screen will show you it'll come up on there what kind of fault, DC output over voltage, DC output relay failure, kinds of different things, calibration failures. So it's kind of interesting. Hopefully you'd never have to go to that screen though. And we'll go back home there. Time is up there. So that's pretty cool, having that touch screen, although I can see, you know, if that thing fails, basically there's no other way to control the box. All it has is just the power button there. Anyway, let's plug a few things in just to finish off the video. Okay, so I just plugged in another power box. I'm charging it up just to put a load on it. And you can see there where it says DC, it's showing 99 watts going out. And on the other port here, I plugged in a hair dryer. So we're going to turn it on, just put it on low for now. So I'm using the AC and the DC ports. So it's showing me the wattage, 600 and something watts and 99 watts. Now I'll fire up the hair dryer to max. Watts. Well, that's pretty cool. That's what I mean. It can pretty well run anything in the RV. Well, there you go. That's just a quick intro and going through the features of the Bluetti AC200P portable power station. So this thing has a potential to maybe replace using a generator for a lot of people and be an all-in-one solution for your RV rather than getting someone to install an inverter and a solar charger and everything like that, batteries. You could just plunk this in there and go to town, go camping. It's not without its drawbacks though. I don't want to pump it up too much. It's got it's 60 pounds. That's going to be pretty hefty for a lot of people. Also an all-in-one unit. If anything actually breaks in it, you could be totally without your system, where, you know, if you have a separate system with batteries and everything, if one thing goes down, say one of your batteries goes or your solar charger, you're not completely dead in the water. Also, this screen here, it looks pretty good right now, but I did try it out in the sunshine and it washes right out. It's not very good in any bright light. Also, you're kind of trapped to using that screen for everything, to turn things on and off, that sort of thing. So if anything goes wrong with the screen, also you're dead in the water. Anyway, next video I'm going to go through and I'm going to do some charge and discharge tests, and I'm going to test all sorts of things in the RV. We'll give it a good demo and testing out. So if you have any questions you'd like answered, or maybe anything that I may be able to test for you, just leave it in the comments below and I'll give it a try. Till next time, Ray from Love Your RV. Cheers everyone.